And we're recording and we're live. All right, everybody. So welcome to Chat with an Entrepreneur. My name's Megan and my pronouns are she and her. I'm a diversity and adult services librarian with Brampton Library, and I'm joined by my colleague Sukhjit. Do you want to say hi, Sukhjit? She'll be speaking in just a moment.
Hi, everyone.
And we're really happy to be partnering with the Brampton Entrepreneur Centre to bring Chat with an Entrepreneur with you today. And we are joined by Jennifer Vivian. Thanks for joining us, Jennifer, who will be introducing our entrepreneurs and leading the discussion very shortly. So before we get into that, we just want to acknowledge that Brampton Library is located on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and before them, the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, Huron, and Wendat. We also acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and other global Indigenous people that now call Brampton their home. We are honored to live, work, and enjoy this land.
Okay, next I will be talking about some service announcements at the Brampton Library. So at this time, we are only open for curbside pickup. Here are our hours of operation. If you are looking for a specific branch, you can also visit our website, bramptonlibrary.ca. And on our website, you can also find all the instructions on how to place your holds and how to pick up your curbside items as well. Don't miss some of our Brampton Library upcoming programs. We have on May 27th, we have Adulting 101, how to kickstart to find your summer job. June 9th and 16th, we have Writing Futures workshop featuring Shang King. And then we have June 10th, our at-home trivia. And on June 17th, we have our book club with Connections Art. For a complete list of our offerings, you can check our website again and our events calendar.
Awesome. Thanks, Sukhjit. And we are also launching our summer clubs on June 1st, which is coming up very, very quickly in less than a couple of weeks, if you can believe it or not. So we have summer clubs for kids. That's the Brampton Brain Game. For teens, the Teen Summer Reading Club. And then for everybody 19 plus, we have the Adult Summer Reading Club. So most of our offerings for summer clubs are virtual again this year, but we do have some outdoor activities to get you out and about throughout the summer. And there's lots of great prizes to be won through logging books, playing games, and in the spirit of entrepreneurship with the Adult Summer Reading Club, we've really tried our best to include a lot of local businesses in those grand prizes that we have for the Adult Summer Reading Club. So be sure with all of our programs, you go to bramptonlibrary.ca. With the ones that Sukhjit just talked about, you go to our website calendar, which is just from our homepage. You can just scroll down and click on website calendar, and the summer clubs will have it'll be right front and center starting June 1st, so you can register there then. All right, so that's all from us, and thank you all again for attending. Again, those of us who are joining us here on Zoom tonight, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat, or if you'd like to speak, you can raise your hand and we will unmute you to ask your question. And then those of us joining us on Facebook Live, you can just leave a comment and we will ask your question to our entrepreneurs. So I will pass it over without further ado to Jennifer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us this evening. My name is Jennifer Vivian. I'm the manager of entrepreneurial services at the City of Brampton's Entrepreneur Centre. For those of you that are unfamiliar with BEC, we're an innovative partnership between the province of Ontario and the City of Brampton. We actually belong to a large network of 54 small business centers all across the province of Ontario. We all offer entrepreneurs various tools to start and grow their businesses. So if you're not from Brampton, or you know individuals that live in Ontario that are thinking about starting a business or who might have a small business, check out sbcontario.ca. That's the website that oversees all of the small business centers across Ontario, and we will, or at least you'll be able to find a center that can work with you. So as I mentioned, we're a one-stop resource of information, education. We run grant programs. We provide free business consultation services, along with many great webinars. And all of these are designed to really help an entrepreneur get started, but also to help those that are in business thrive and grow. A relatively new addition to BEC is our 4,500 square foot co-working space. And this is a place for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs to come and work on their ideas surrounded by like-minded individuals. So unfortunately, due to COVID, our doors have been closed since last March, but we're really hopeful that in the coming months, as the province gradually starts to reopen, that we'll be able to reopen our doors. Like the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, and the same thing applies to a business. The most successful entrepreneurs are those who have a strong network, and they got to where they are because they got the help from others along the way. And I know our entrepreneurs on tonight's call can probably agree to that statement, that you can't work in isolation, that it really does take a village, not just of customers and suppliers, of other entrepreneurs, right, who can support you in your journey. With that being said, is Emma on yet? Doesn't look like. Oh, she is here. Great.
Hey.
So we just want to, hi Emma. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce our entrepreneurs on tonight's call. All three have worked closely with our team to support them in their entrepreneurial journey. First off, we have Emma from Restyle Beauty Boutique, a consignment shop located in the heart of downtown Brampton that offers amazing contemporary consignment fashion for adults and also children, beauty services, one-of-a-kind, locally made gifts. If you haven't checked out their shop, I encourage you to do so, and I'm sure Emma will give you more details on how you can connect. And then the Brampton community is home to many different cultures. We're such a diverse community, and as a result, we have many delicious cuisines. So tonight we are joined by the co-founders of Palette Foods, Salima and Ali Khan, distributors of Blue Elephant Premium Thai food products, which, by the way, are absolutely delicious. And someone who is not a cook is able to make authentic Thai dishes in the comfort of your own home. So you'll definitely want to check them out. So we'll get started. So Salima and Ali, perhaps you can tell us a little bit about Palette Foods, how the idea came about, and what was your key driving force to becoming an entrepreneur?
Sure. Thanks, Jennifer, and thanks for having us today on this great event, talking about entrepreneurship. Our idea actually came about a few years ago, back in 2016, when we moved to Thailand. Salima and me are partners in the business and partners in life, and Salima had a career opportunity. We're also both bankers by profession, and she had a career opportunity out in Thailand. And we moved there and we got to explore the delicious and unique flavors of Southeast Asia while we were there. When we moved back to Brampton a couple of years later, we realized that, there's really an opportunity, there's a missing opportunity here to share those flavors with the rest of Brampton and with the rest of Canada. And that's how our kind of idea started. It started really small, locally at the Brampton Farmers Market. And it really started as a way to share these great recipes and these great flavors. And it's grown since then.
Yeah, really. I mean, the reason why we became entrepreneurs is to solve the gap that, the need that we wanted. And that's, where it all came together. And then the response we got from the Brampton's Farmers Market, was just the encouragement and push we needed, to say, hey, this is a viable business and this is something we're passionate about and want to give back to the community.
That's amazing. I know the Brampton Farmers Market has really been a key driver in helping launch a number of successful food businesses. So I'm happy to hear that you got your start at the Farmers Market. I remember it was a Christmas market as part of the Christmas weekend where I believe I first met you, and I got to sample some of your products. And I love Thai food. I've never been to Thailand. It's on my list of places to go. But definitely having the opportunity to sample and then being able to go and shop local in a downtown store was really key as well. So I'll pass the question then over to Emma. How did you get started? How did the idea come about, and what was your key driving force to becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, first, I want to say hi, Jen, and thank you for including us in the call tonight. I did start with my beautiful mother, Evie O'Malley, who is at home resting. And yeah, we started 5 years ago, if you can believe it. And we had a business, Rapini's restaurant, for almost 15 years in downtown Brampton. So entrepreneurship has always kind of been in our blood. And we wanted to open up a consignment shop that had designer items, that had fantastic pieces that are one of a kind. And we kind of branched out from furniture to home decor. And then we hit on all the local things that people make here right in our community. So we're not only getting consignment fashion from the community, but now we're getting all sorts of great artisan gifts. And then we pivoted again to add beauty services in our boutique, and just kept on elevating and becoming that one-stop shop experience that I've never seen before. So, and again, we're still pivoting as all of this transpires. So we're definitely a one-stop shop here in downtown Brampton.
Talk a little bit about COVID, how that your business. You mentioned we've got in life, and we have a mom and daughters involved in Restyle. I'm just wondering if you have any advice or tips on how to manage a business with family members, because we know that you know, it can be challenging when you're in business with family. So I guess Salima and Ellie, I'll pass that over to you.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Maybe I'll let Salima answer that one.
I think I would be lying to say, you know, everything is a rosy, right? Like there's definitely the challenges because, you know, there's disagreements between partners, which is very healthy in any relationship. But, you know, the way we manage through that is, you know, you have a common goal. You want to see the business succeed. You know, you want to leave a legacy for your children. So you're involving, you know, our daughter, who is now 7, you know, used to come with us to the farmers market 5 a.m. You know, you wake up, you set up. So really, you know, it becomes part of something that the family enjoys together. And the beauty of, you know, being in a community that we're in, you know, I was just talking to Ali, is that Emma and Ellie, like if you met them, they just ingest that energy in you. So not only, you know, your direct family you're in business with, but this overall sense of community and family, you know, within Brampton that has helped us sort of navigate our challenges and succeed.
Of course. And Emma, how is it working with your mom and sister?
So it's fantastic. So because of the pandemic, my sister actually has gone home because she's a medical esthetician. So she's not able to work right now due to the COVID measures. But it's all good. We love each other either way. But so I'm full-time with my mom. And we do have a little bit of a unique experience because I grew up in our family business. So it wasn't new to me to work with my family. And even my sister and I worked at the Canadian Beauty College together for years. So it just kind of been instilled with us. And I'm very fortunate that we love each other so much and we have a great bonding relationship. We still hang out after work. I don't know how we do it, but wine usually helps. And yeah, you know what? You just kind of appreciate what you have. And I think that's what we all need to do in this life, is appreciate that life is short and you have to keep the people that are closest to you, and celebrate them and celebrate every day. And I think because we're the family business too, we treat our community like family. The community treats us like family. When you come in here, you are part of the family. So it makes it a lot easier when we're all like a unit, you know?
Of course. And that's, you know, that's a benefit of entering into a partnership, whether it be with a family member, a best friend, a relative, is that everyone brings a unique skill set to the business, right? So you're able to have that person to bounce ideas. Maybe your partner is really good with numbers. So it's so important to have that well-rounded team, and that can be a benefit of entering into a partnership. I'm going to switch gears a little bit because one of the top questions we get asked at the Entrepreneur Centre is, where do I go to get the money to start my business? So one thing we know is true, regardless of the entrepreneur's efforts, that starting a business always takes more time and more money than he or she thinks when they're getting started. So Salima and Ali, how did you raise funding for your venture? And did you take advantage of any special programs when you're getting started?
Yeah, I think, Jennifer, that's a great question, because I think that's the first thing on top of our mind when we thought about starting the business. It's like, how are you going to fund it? How much are you going to fund it yourself? And what avenues are available as a small business, as an entrepreneur. So I think if I was to give advice on that, looking back, I think one of the good things we did is we took those baby steps to find out, is our idea and is our business viable? And we spoke to people in the industry, in the food industry, who've been there, who've done that. And tying it back to our start at the Brampton Farmers Market, like the investment was on a smaller scale than turning into a full out distributor right away. And I think that served us well. When we started seeing the growth, I think that's where, again, talking to like individuals and businesses like ours, the Brampton Entrepreneurial Centre, participating in the program, accelerator program with you guys at the right time. I think if we participated in a program like that at the beginning, we might not have taken as much value from it. But because we participated at the right time, we got connections to different funding sources, to I'd say like government funding sources in terms of Futurepreneur and the BDC, at a time when we had some growth and we had some sales where we could take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, I would agree with Ali. You know, a lot of
That's
it.
Great advice.
Yeah, I would say, I would add to that, you know.
Oh, go ahead, Salima. Sorry.
Thanks, Jennifer. I wanted to say that, yes, you know, capital, you know, you're passionate about your business. There's going to be some element of bootstrapping it first, and then leveraging all the grants that are available, right? Whether it be from the Brampton Entrepreneurial Centre, or, you know, any other small business grants, as well as, you know, small business financing options. There's a lot out there. It's a matter of, you know, what stage you're at and how much you want to grow.
For sure. Those are great tips. You know, starting small and scaling and growing your business at a reasonable pace. Starting out at the farmers market, like I had mentioned before, has been a really great kind of launch pad for business. It almost gives you an opportunity to generate market research, right? To get people testing the food and sampling and building a client base before, you know, going full scale and growing the business to the point where maybe it's not manageable. And Emma, to you, how did you fund getting the business started?
Well, that is, again, a great question. I think that there's obviously different platforms and different amounts that you need, whatever business you have. If you have a gym, it's going to look a lot different than if you have a restaurant or if you have a boutique. But definitely you have to have a business plan first and foremost, because that's how you can actually figure out how you're going to bring in money, how you're going to get the right amount of money, so you can set yourself up for success. And then the next thing, you need to invest in yourself. So when you're an entrepreneur, you're not just selling a product, or at least this is in my opinion, you're not just selling a product, you're selling an experience. You have to build that trust. You have to put yourself out there go to the farmer's market, but also you have to talk to people. So you have to be able to sell yourself, build that trust, which is actually, I think, one of the most scariest parts. But looking back at where I was 5 years ago to where I am now, I'm so glad I took that step. And it was the most difficult step, but it's the most rewarding step. And obviously I'm going to plug the Brampton Entrepreneurship Centre for the startup company that was able to get us so many amazing funds and resources to direct us in the right way to be a successful business. So thank you so much for that opportunity as well. And I think everyone that's a small business needs to take advantage of that.
Thank you. Agreed. And I think one thing, if I could just add a little tip, is that, you know, everyone's looking for funding, everyone's looking for grants, and they do exist. There are programs that exist, like Salima and Ali and Emma mentioned. We run a grant program called Starter Company Plus. We also run a program for young entrepreneurs called Summer Company, which is a grant program. There's wage subsidy programs, there's tax incentives, there's a number of different programs. But if I could give everyone just one tip, and this is something that I've watched entrepreneurs do time and time again, is they pay money to a company to provide them with this magic directory that's going to contain all these wonderful grant programs. So first off, you should never, ever pay for any of that information. Reach out to a small business center, reach out to us. We have a great federal partner in Canada Business that has an amazing financing tool. So any type of government grants, whether it be provincial, municipal, federal, you name it, this is a tool that you can use at no charge to find the different programs that you might be eligible for. So never should you pay for that information. It is readily available to you at absolutely no charge. So I guess we talked a little bit about the farmers market, and that was kind of a good starting point for building a successful customer base. But do you have any other tips or suggestions for the entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs on tonight's call on how to build a successful customer base? And I'll guess direct that one back to Salima and Ali.
I think, Jennifer, that's $1 million question, right? Really, our whole philosophy is you start with the customer in mind. So that kind of a customer obsession philosophy, all the way, you know, from the packaging of the product to, you know, what's inside the product and how you market and what kind of channels you market the product. And just keep the customer in mind, you know, first and foremost. And I think one of the things that has worked well for us in, you know, during this COVID times is, you know, the customer experience, right? The elevated customer experience that we're able to provide to our customers who are coming, you know, to buy the products from our website. So I think that's been really, really helpful, right? Like we've used that channel and wherever possible, surprised our customers positively, right? So if they're, you know, buying, let's say, one meal kit, you know, we'd give them a sample of something else. So that surprise element, I think it keeps the customer coming back to us, you know, the exceeding customers' expectation in terms of, you know, the service. If anyone had a problem with their order, you know, making sure we make it right for them. I think, you know, if we orient every process and everything we do and make it about customers, I think that's the way to really grow our customer base. You know, Ali.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, what's coming to my mind is tying it back to the I think Emma, you mentioned it as well, but it's just like everyone you interact with, putting yourself out there, and to this day, it's still so motivating. Like when we announce a new store, we have all of our first customers from Brampton who used to support us on those Saturday mornings, and we recently launched our products on Costco.ca. And the amount of messages we got from Bramptonians who were like, congratulations, like you guys made it that far. When on day one, it was just us and them and the community. And then small stores like in locally, like right beside Restyle, we have Dolcezza. That was one of the first stores to give us a shelf and just carry our products. And Emma's mom was like so encouraging to us when we met her. She was like, you guys are going to do it. You're going to do it. And there was days when me and Salima were like, we needed that push because we were like, we don't know if we're going to do it. We don't know if we're going to make it to next week with the amount of investment we're putting, the amount of time we're putting into this. And those kind of, I think, community pushes really helped us as entrepreneurs.
So really, Jennifer, from starting out at the Brampton Farmer Market to being like over 50 locations across Canada and, 60,000 units, last year, like we really, attribute it all to our customers and the community.
That's incredible success. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
And to Emma.
Now my mouth is
how do you build a
salivating.
successful? I know. I wish I had Thai food tonight.
Me too. So how do you build a successful
customer base?
Okay, so first and foremost, as soon as I learned this tip, it changed the game for our business. Is that you have to, and again, I come from a place where we feature all of our items on Instagram. So important for our business. And because of COVID, Instagram has saved our business. So we show face to build that trust. We talk to our people, and we know who we're talking to. So that's number one. You have to know exactly who your target is. Because when we first started, and this could change for everyone, but we wanted to be like a place for everyone. And we wanted to be the hub, which is great in hindsight, but really, once you geared down to who is coming in and who we're catering to, it changed the game. And now we have a community of strong, loyal people that have been supportive, that we take care of, and they take care of us. Like it's an easy process that has happened. So I know exactly who I'm talking to, who I'm selling to, and making sure that they're getting exactly what they need. So once you can figure out who you need to sell to or to provide for, it's a game changer. Absolutely.
For sure. Building those relationships is so important to your ROI, without a doubt. And you guys do a great job of that. So I just want to talk a little bit about COVID, because obviously we've been living it now for 14 months. And, no entrepreneurship journey is without its fair share of obstacles. I mean, even without COVID, as an entrepreneur, you're gonna run into challenges and obstacles definitely in running your business. But COVID has really presented obstacles across the world, and entrepreneurs have not been immune to it. So for Emma, I know you've done an incredible job of pivoting your operations. As a retailer, you've had to close your doors for far too many days. And that meant getting your business online and coming up with unique ways to create a customer experience. So I'm just curious how you've pivoted your operations due to COVID, and how did you come up with the ideas that you did in terms of offering something different?
Okay, you ready for this? So basically when all of this happened, like, it's not about woe me and I feel sorry for myself. Like, I feel for everyone. All of us are in terms of small businesses, we are in this together, where we're like, how are we going to do this? Because we have this storefront where our bill is still has to be paid. We still have to pay our rent. We still have to pay our insurance. We still have to pay for our products. We still have to pay our consigners. All of those things are still there, but how are we going to do it? Yeah. And we're not the type of people, my mom and I, to just sit and say, whoa me, and I'm mad and I'm miserable. And we were kind of forced, because we had no choice, because we had to close our doors, which we did to support this pandemic, and our doors are still closed. But we were able to just pivot and say, how can we make this the best experience ever? And really it was sink or swim, right? It's either we stay here and we are miserable, or we're going to do something about it. So they said close. We said, okay, we're going to be the busiest we've ever been. And to this day, we're looking to hire, we're looking to get more staff, because we need all hands on deck, because we're super busy. So we've been able to do our weekly live specials every Thursday on Instagram at @restyle_beauty boutique. If you guys want to check it out, every Thursday at 7 o'clock. So we bring you into our boutique, because we can't go shopping right now. And I don't know about you, but I miss going shopping. And so we do like try-on sessions. We do an interactive experience where you can feel like you're here and get a little retail therapy. So that's been a huge benefit for our community because they get great things. And it's fun for us too, because it gives us a purpose again, whether like we're supposed to stay home, which we do, but it's just my mom and I, but we have something to do every day, which brings us so much joy, and seeing it bring joy to others is just beyond fantastic. And because we're in downtown Brampton, the BIA has created a program with the free local delivery program, which we've been able to extend because of the extended lockdown. That's been a huge benefit for people that don't want to go out or they can't go out. So that's been super, super helpful. We still deliver items as well, and we do virtual Zoom calls. We really kind of figure out whatever we can do to make people happy. And it's not about selling. It's just like, we have to survive. We want people to enjoy a little sense of normalcy if we can. And people need clothes, people want clothes. And we've definitely been able to like pivot and get some beauty products and get some fusion paint and all sorts of great stuff, so people don't go empty-handed.
You guys are doing an incredible job of creating an experience. I love tuning in on Thursday nights to your fashion shows. You and your mom just have such a great time. It's your excitement and energy is so contagious, and you could be having the worst day and you tune in on Thursday nights and you feel a lot better. So amazing job at pivoting during like the most challenging year, I think, for any entrepreneur. So to Salima and Ali, I guess slightly different scenario, but obviously equally as challenging. You don't have a physical storefront, but I would imagine COVID has probably impacted in some way, maybe some of your retailers that sell your products. Like, how has COVID impacted your business, and what are some ways that you've pivoted your operations to adapt?
Yeah, so I think understanding the impact that COVID has had to the industry overall, like, yes, we don't have a storefront. We don't have some of the same challenges that retailers that have a storefront do. And if I could say, shop local as much as you can for everything and anything, because I think that our local businesses need the support right now. And they're working very hard to keep their doors open, ready to be open when it's time. When it comes to COVID and the challenges we had early on, we had to make a few critical decisions. So one of them was, we were used to having our staff meet with us in person and work together collaboratively on sales, on marketing, on logistics. And so early on, it was a lot of decisions around virtual work and adapting to that, and being a new business and with the investment in staff. That wasn't as easy as we think sometimes, because it was really about how do we adapt our work routines and our deliverables to make sure that we're still making progress. And then Jennifer, like you said, our customers are grocery stores, and I would say that our customers were the front line of the pandemic in some way. And so we had to really adapt to them, because they were serving customers day to day, putting themselves at danger. But at the same time, there was a supply chain problem. We all remember the toilet paper issues at the beginning of the pandemic, and food items were that. So we needed to get our message across to them, but in a way that we were compassionate. And so some of that included not being so rigid on our payment terms, being flexible when it came to deliveries. There was early on in the pandemic, I was driving out to stores myself to make deliveries, because they were like, I'm out of your product and I need it by the weekend, because the weekend's going to be busy. And so making those adjustments and really putting ourselves in the shoes of the retailers who were our customers that we need to support.
Course. again, we're gonna, you know, COVID has been a very deep and heavy topic, and I'm sure we're probably all sick of talking about it. But I think it's important for individuals on today's call or who are thinking about starting a business that, you know, these things are inevitable. Like they happen. You can't plan for it. It's not, you know, it's not one of those what if scenarios that you can identify when you're writing your business plan. I mean, who would have thought that COVID would turn into such a global pandemic and would cripple businesses all across the world? So just kudos to you both for managing the challenges and overcoming them to ensure that your businesses are able to continue to thrive and grow. And just wanted to touch on some, like maybe some personal questions is, what is your favorite part of being an entrepreneur? I mean, I know entrepreneurship isn't right for everybody. I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, but I know for a fact that entrepreneurship would not be right for me, but I do love working and supporting entrepreneurs. So what is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur? And I'll pass that one over to you, Ali and Salima.
Yeah, I can take that one. Really, you know, what is my favorite part is hearing that, you know, the products that we supply have improved the lives of Canadians in any small way. You know, when you, Jennifer, said that, you know, our products are so convenient. I don't like cooking, but these are, you know, this is something that I can make at home myself. It's ready in 5 minutes. It tastes great. It's, you know, all natural. I think that's, you know, that puts a smile to my face. It really, you know, makes me feel like, you know, I'm helping in some way. And also, you know, the fact that I'm bringing my culture, you know, from Thailand and my heritage, you know, to Canada. You know, COVID has been frustrating for a lot of, you know, a lot of us, and we're not able to travel, you know, but through, you know, a global flavor, I think we're able to get those kind of experiences that we're missing.
Yeah, and I would add there for me, one of the biggest things is having young kids. Like our daughter, who's 7, she has learned so much from just observing, from hearing, from she can explain to you any type of Thai curry, the spice level, how to cook it, just because she's been there and she's seen it, and she's seen the hard work, the 5 o'clock in the morning on weekends to set up those booths, the running around, the deliveries to make. And I think that's a skill that I'm so happy that we've been able to have her observe and see. And you can see it building in her leadership as well. And so that's something I'm grateful for through my entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, she even does her presentation Dragon's Den style.
Oh, love it. Love it. I can, like I said, I can relate to that, being the daughter of entrepreneurs. I am so grateful that my parents ran their own business, because just watching their dedication, and, you know, they had their challenges, fires and a recession, and it was hard to watch growing up as a child, watching, you know, your family struggle, but they're fighters. And I feel like a lot of the things that I watched, lessons that were instilled in me, I feel like have helped me even to where I am today. And I guess, Emma, going back to you, being the daughter of entrepreneurs, I'm sure you can definitely relate, but what is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur? What is your favorite aspect of being the daughter of entrepreneurs?
And it's so funny because I'm going to be 30 in a week or so, and I've never really considered myself an entrepreneur until recently.
Yeah.
And it's such a rewarding thing. And I look back at where I started, and I was working full time at the Keg. I was working 2 jobs and just working my butt off. And I've always worked so much. And now I can kind of see what all that work actually does. And that's changed. That's just changed my complete opinion about having a small business. Like, you work so hard, you work every day. And even though I don't work 9 to 5, because I get to make my own hours, which is a really great thing too. We're working all the time, but the reason why we're working all the time is so we can have a little bit of freedom to do what makes us happy. And I think the best part is making an impact that you can see with the community. And as I said before, it must be so nice having a beautiful child to see all of that success as well. And I'd love to leave behind a legacy when I can have kids one day as well. So that's something that we can all just look forward to when we have a small business. So there's only good things. I mean, we don't have to talk about the hard things, but the good outweighs the hard all day.
Of course. And the saying, you know, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I think that has to be true for an entrepreneur. You have to love what you do. If you hate running your business, if you hate the business that you run, every day is going to be such a challenge and a chore. And that's going to come across in how you treat your customers. So I think the most successful entrepreneurs too are ones that truly love what they do, because when you love what you do, you're going to work extra hard, and those long hours, the times that you spend on weekends and holidays, and you're up all night and up early in the morning won't seem so bad. Like the farmer's market, oh my gosh, you have to start so early in the morning. I know you both being participants of the market, it's early days all day. On a Saturday, all summer, like you're giving up your weekends. So you really do have to love what you do, or else, you know, it's just not going to be easy to get up and sell your products or your services. What has been your most satisfying moment in business? Is there anything that stands out to you that was like really a moment where you're like, okay, this is where I want to be right now? Maybe I'll put that one. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Emma.
I'll speak up. I think the best part for me, because I have a retail store and I love supporting women entrepreneurs and just celebrating what it means to be a woman entirely, is when little girls come into my shop and it's their favorite place to be, and they literally light up. And they save their, honestly, one sweet girl, she's 11. She came in and she had, I swear to God, like 30 loonies saved up to buy whatever it is that she wanted to buy. I think it was like a fanny pack or something. And she put it on the desk and she was like so excited to spend her hard-earned saved money. And I was like, okay, that's the best. Like and it doesn't matter about what we're bringing in and how much we're making. It's just seeing that joy on her face to be able to support herself and get something that she loves from her favorite store. Like that was probably the highlight for sure. Absolutely.
And Salima and Ali, is there a moment where you just were like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing and I love what I do? I'm sure you probably had multiple of those moments, but is there one that stands out?
So I'd say one that stands out was like being trying to get our product across Canada. And that was a hefty goal when starting just in Brampton, just in Ontario. And from I'd say a sales perspective, we were trying to like paint the whole country with our products. And the moment when we kind of landed the store that got us into every single province in Canada, including, by the way, Nunavut and Yukon, and our products do quite well there. And so when we were able to look at the Canadian map and see that, you know, we're in 50 locations across the country now, that was kind of like, you know, we're doing something of purpose. Canadians are receptive to that. And it kind of felt like, you know, that moment where we're like, you know, we have to keep going. We're on to something kind of thing.
That's incredible. So 50 stores all across Canada. You're in Costco, which I can't imagine would be very easy to get your product on the shelves of Costco. Do you have any tips or suggestions for an entrepreneur that might be developing a consumer packaged good that's looking to get their product on the store shelves? I know you started farmers market, then you got into some smaller local retailers, but tips for like that next step to really like scale and grow the business to the point where you're all across Canada?
Yeah, that's a really good one. And I'd say the biggest thing I could give for advice on that is do not take rejection or no's to heart, because early on, I'd say like we started in Brampton, We visited a bunch of other communities in Ontario, the Markham Farmers Market, Orangeville, and we had support from independents. And that's why I say again, like, I absolutely love independent stores, small businesses. They are the ones who motivated us to move on. But then it was a lot of no's. And with the big retailers like Costco and that kind of thing, we were playing in a game with people like distributors that have tons of products, millions of dollars in sales. And it was just me and Salima. And at first it was just us calling to pitch our product, calling to pitch for that space on the shelf. And so we've heard no more times than we'd like to hear. But to get to those 50 stores, once we saw that, you know, we were providing something of value, there was times where now other stores were referring other stores because the products were doing well. And that's when it was kind of like, okay, you know, the no at first doesn't matter. It's that, and I think Emma, you mentioned it, but it's like making those relationships, building that network of people to support you, and having a good business reputation out there. I think that really helps in a growth strategy.
Yeah, I would also add, you know, there's you know, with this big stores, a big thing right now is support local, right? So if you're a local Canadian business or a local product, take advantage of those programs, right? Like meet, network. There's a lot of things happening right now. Make sure you take advantage of the local programs. And then, as Ali said, once you have, you know, a customer base in the independent stores, and, you know, your sales are going to speak for themselves, and it's going to be, you know, that much easier to land like a national retailer.
That's incredible. In terms of like support local, I know like all across Canada right now, there's a big emphasis on supporting small, shop local, support the businesses in your community. I guess to Emma, how has the Shop Local campaign helped your business, and the importance of consumers shopping local and supporting the little guys?
So on, like, truthfully, I would say that there's, just like COVID, there's been the waves of like the support, and I feel like there was a lot of support because of the marketing, and I will speak frankly, like it's dwindled off because I think the media or whoever is creating that message, it's gone a little bit less aggressive as it was before. I think it's just like sink or swim now, and we're just trying to figure out the safest thing to do. So I think it's changed a little bit today. But if you have a good product, if you are a good business owner, if you are consistent, then I think you create your own message. Do you know what I mean? And if you're loyal with your people, then you have a sense of loyalty with your customers, because they can say support local all you want, but you have to put your money where your mouth is. And I tried my best for myself to say shop local, and I shop local. So that's all we can do, right? Like, it's just try to put your money where your mouth is when you can. You can support local by just sharing someone's page. You can give a review. There's so many ways to do it in a free way as well, where you can support your friend's business, or you can support your neighbor. So I think we actually need to get back on that train of supporting local, because I think we need to encourage people right now. What day is it? It's like 300 days that some businesses have been closed. So I think, like, as a small business owner, we're tired of telling people to shop local. We don't want to tell people to shop local. We just want to survive, right? So I think we need to get back to doing that.
Agreed. We all need to do our part. I love the campaigns, like the Take It Tuesdays, and little things that you can do to support all industries that have been hit hard. In terms of marketing your business, obviously a lot has been online in the last year, but what are some marketing tactics that have worked well for you, or have been most successful? Ali and Salima, I'll pass that one over to you.
So one of the programs I think that was really successful that we participated in was the Digital Main Street Initiative. to optimize our website and our Shopify presence, which really helped us increase our sales, get our logistics in better order, and then our marketing, drive more traffic to our website so people could easily purchase from us. I think another one is like, we had we early on in our journey, we met another entrepreneur who was kind of creating an app to like connect small businesses like ours with influencers. And so we joined that, and that's been a huge push for us, because we've been able to connect with the right people, the right audience for our product, do influencer marketing on a small business budget, and really get the word out there to Canadians and to the right captive audience, I'd say. And the app is Node, by the way, if anyone's wondering. A great app for small business owners to connect with the right influencers.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, Jennifer, like our business is more about, samples, right? You try it, then you buy it. With COVID, we are not able to do those samples, right? For safety reasons. So really, using as sort of, folks, our customers that like the product, and using them to spread the word through influencers to our existing customer base has really given us a boost in the business.
That's incredible. Have you used like you see it now, more so now, I guess, in the last year, but like contests on social media, Instagram, tagging friends, sharing feedback, that kind of thing? Have you done any of those?
Yeah, we actually
Just
try
curious, you see it.
Yeah, we try to actually run a contest or some sort of engagement every month.
Yeah.
In terms of like share, because food is something that everybody I think can relate to and bond with. And so it's like, I think actually just today, one of our influencers or our contest participants shared like a yellow curry pasta where they used our Thai curry as a sauce for their pasta instead of.
Oh, yum. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, so that picture's on our Instagram from today because it was just shared with us. And it's like when we're engaging people with, because our marketing is now everyone else's creativity, not just ours. And I think it's such a beautiful thing when your customers are sharing with you. I remember early on in the pandemic as well, one of the things we did is we sent out an email blast to our customers saying, we cannot do farmers markets and stuff. We can't get you the samples in your hands. But if we send you 5 samples, can you promise us that you're going to give it to 5 friends or family?
Smart.
And we were able to utilize our samples that we had, that we didn't want them to go bad because they were obviously products without packaging, and we sent them out to our loyal customers. And they were our salespeople. They gave them to friends and family. And all of a sudden, then we had those customers saying, hey, Jennifer gave me a sample and now I'm hooked on your stuff. So now I'm ordering. And so, yeah, contests, marketing, I think in general, just keeping that captive audience engaged with your company and your journey, it's a huge game changer.
I love that, using your customers as your sales force. You don't have to pay them a fancy salesman's salary. You just give them some free product, right? The cost is minimal. Get them to share it. That's a great idea, especially when you can't be doing sampling, right, at events like you mentioned because of COVID. So that's definitely thinking outside the box. I love that. And to Emma, how do you market your business, and what tactics have you been using, obviously, that have been most successful for your company?
Well, just to support the other guests, because I think we need to look out for each other, we'd be happy to feature your products that are live, and I need to buy some, by the way. So what is your website and your Instagram handle?
So thanks, Emma. We're Blue Elephant Canada on Instagram.
Yes.
Perfect. And we are www.blueelephantcanada.com. And Salima already put it in her calendar for your Thursday retail session. You don't accept credit card, right? Like there's no.
We'll work that out after, but this is it. So the word is pivot. Like it's just pivot. Yeah. Like what my business looked like last year at the beginning of COVID is completely different to how it looks today. So if you are a business owner, don't stop getting creative. Figure out what works. Figure out what's fueling you. Figure out what people are thriving on and people are energetic to, and then soar with it. If something's not working out, just stop. Give up. Don't do that. Do something else. So that's something that has been an encouragement, is even if something doesn't work, you could just kind of switch it up, change it up. And we did get the Digital Main Street grant, which has helped. We got our beautiful iPad that I'm using right now, which is how we were able to do our lives, and they look okay instead of using my phone from before. And yeah, Instagram has been great. Boosted posts are great. Contests are great. And connecting. I like that. What is that app called? The Node?
Yeah, it was called Node, Node.
Yeah.
I can introduce you, Emma, after if you'd like to the.
Yeah.
Great.
That's brilliant. And I think in the age of this world now where people aren't coming in, we're not going to markets, you have to talk to people online. You have to show your face, as uncomfortable as it is. And sometimes I don't feel like I want to, but I put my red lipstick on and I just fake it till I make it. And you have that engagement, because people need that engagement. People need a sense of community more than ever. I've said that before, and I'll say it again, is people are craving human connection. Do you agree?
Yeah,
definitely.
Like I'm making best friends at the grocery store all the time because I just want to talk, and I talk a lot. So it's just, I think that's a lot of I don't know. And do you think that we'll even have the market this year? I wonder.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I know other communities are, so hopefully.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. I know that potentially it might be a change of location, but I think the market will be back. It's an important part of our downtown. It's an important part of our community, and as I mentioned numerous times, it is an important element for those individuals that are looking to start and scale their company. They need a place to get started, and the market is a great place to get your feet wet, you know. And even if it's not the Brampton market, I know Salima and Elite, like you guys were at multiple farmers markets. Farmers markets exist in communities all over Ontario, and they're great places to be potential customers, to get your products in the hands of consumers all over the province. So we're lucky in Brampton that I think we have one of the best, if not the best, markets in all of Ontario, perhaps all of Canada.
We agree.
We actually agree with that, Jennifer. We went to so many, and it's like Brampton felt like home. It's like the people, the staff, the business owners across on Main Street. Everyone is just so supportive, especially when it comes to those new businesses that are getting their feet wet. Everyone is so supportive, and so I think we have one of the best markets in Canada, in Brampton, right here in Brampton.
Agreed. And I think it has a lot to do with our diversity. I mean, the variety of products that are available to you. I mean, even certain farmers are selling produce that I've never even heard of before, because it's like an ethnic item that maybe you can't traditionally find in a grocery store. So I love the fact that Brampton is so diverse, and that it is reflected in the vendors that are selected to be part of the farmers market.
So true.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about obviously the importance of support local, shopping local, but in terms of community impact, social impact, how important is it for a business owner to think about ways to give back to the community, whether it be, I know, Emma, you do a great job of this, like the fashion shows and raising money for Wellspring. And so how important is it for an entrepreneur to give back and have that be a part of their business plan? Why don't you go first?
Okay.
Yeah.
So and it's so unfortunate because we do have, it's been 20 years that my mom's been putting on the Fashion for the Cure for Wellspring Cancer Center, Bethel House, and all sorts of great charity events. And it's at a little bit of a standstill right now, but I mean, we give back. We've been donating to Regeneration Thrift Store whenever our clothes are done with their consignment. we try to get, it's a little bit tricky to give back now. So we're giving back in terms of giveaways more often because we want to give back. But I would always love to come up with ideas to give back to our community more now than ever. But COVID has made it a little bit tricky. Even to donate clothes, it's been a little bit hard. It was at a little bit of a standstill, but it's a constant, there's a constant, I'm trying to think of the words I'm trying to say, but there's all sorts of ways to give back. I think I just need a little bit of creativity in that sense at this time.
Yeah, of course.
Because we're all just, it's a little bit tricky right now with COVID.
100%. Salima and Ali, do you have any comments for like the importance of a business, like giving back to the community?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned this because it was actually on an agenda of our team meeting that we had this week with our staff around like, how can we, what else is there that we can do to create a corporate social responsibility, like a regular giving back. And I think it's easy to do those one-off things. And like example would be like our product is food products. And one of the things we tried to do is, let's donate some of our excess product or find some product to donate to some of the homeless shelters in downtown Toronto, in Brampton, that kind of thing. But then those are one-off things. And sometimes when it's not top of mind, you're not doing it. So we're trying to develop more of a longer term strategy, but I think it's important because like I said, Canadians, it's in our blood to give back and to help each other. And I think business plays a big part in that, especially small business. If we're not showing that, then we can't expect that help from the community when we go to individuals, I think.
Yeah, so for us, we partner with local food banks right now, but also in terms of sustainability perspective, we're looking at other organizations within Canada and also contributing to COVID relief funds. So.
And I just want to continue as well, like, again, it's been at a standstill because we're not doing our fashion shows, but I saw a group of women, of moms called 100 Million Moms, and they recently put together an event where they collected toys and children's clothes and children's books because you cannot buy them at the shops right now. And they set them out so that any mom could grab what they need. And I mean, I would absolutely love to do that here in downtown Brampton somehow. And we can do it privately, we can do it confidentially. But if any mama bear is out there that is really needing kids' clothes, kids' children books, toys, anything like that, I would love to be able to support them. And it could be anonymously as well. But I think that's something that is so wild to me, that mama bears can't buy clothes for their children right now at the stores. Yeah. So if anyone is out there that has donations, I would love to be a hub to help give back to moms and dads for their kids.
That's amazing. Love that. So I want to talk a little bit about like tips and advice for the entrepreneurs on today's call. So, I'm sure a lot of them here, they'll probably have some questions for you as we near the Q&A section. But I'm just wondering what your suggestion would be to someone that's thinking about getting started in business. Like where should they go to get help? Obviously come to the Entrepreneur Centre, but what tips would you give them in terms of getting started? Like what is the top 3 things that they should think about doing?
Maybe I'll start. So I top 3 tips, I'd say first one is when you look at big companies, they all have a board of directors. I'd say think of your own personal board of directors. Who are you going to go to for advice? Be it family members, be it friends, be it business owners that you look up to in the business community, but have that from the beginning, because I think the best learnings are from experience. And so that's number 1. I'd say get your personal board of directors. Number 2 is I'd say the family support. I think having the support, it's a lot of time commitment, it's a lot of resource commitment, and having that support from family, I think is very important. And then number 3, I'd say just take the step, like take that first step, no matter how small it is. I remember I was like a Saturday night that me and Salima made the decision to take that first small step, and that's what led us to being entrepreneurs and being where we are today. So take the step.
Yeah, Ali, you've summed it perfectly. I think, a lot of us are thinking, well, it's the middle of the pandemic, there is opportunity in chaos. You've got to take this step. If you've got an idea, now is the time. So I think definitely, with those 3 tips, like take the plunge, join the club.
And do not start a business in Brampton without talking to the entrepreneurs.
Oh, thank you.
Do not.
Great advice. And Emma, to you, do you have top 3 tips for someone that's thinking about getting started?
Okay, top 3 tips from myself. So I think you have to expect that you are not going to get rich, or you can't do this just to make money, because that is not what it's like to be an entrepreneur. That's not what it's like to have a small business. You give of your soul, and like this business for me, it's become my baby. Yeah. So it's a pleasure to do everything that I do, but you have to know that it's going to be a long process. And again, I've been here for 5 years now, and now we've kind of set, people know who we are now. We've gotten our reputation. So it takes time, but don't give up. Don't give up, and know that every mistake that you make, every time you feel like you've done something wrong, all you do is just learn from it. That's it. You get to learn from it, and you get to get better. So, and especially more than now than ever, don't give up. I wrote something else down because I'm a dork. And know what you're selling. Know what you're selling. Know what the experiences that you want. Know your motto. Like, all of these things are important that I learned when I did my business plan because of the Brampton Entrepreneurship Centre, which honestly I didn't even consider before. And then as soon as I kind of wrote that down, put it on paper, it became so clear to me. So definitely never give up is the most important one, though.
Definitely. And you're right. Get those ideas down on paper. Don't be intimidated by a business plan, even if you don't plan on ever writing a plan. Just get those ideas down on paper, because once they're on that piece of paper, you're almost more committed, right, to the idea. And it really helps you kind of think of like what I need to do, and creating like to-do lists and those what if scenarios, which are so important. We do have a question from the audience. What's the one thing that surprised you the most about becoming a business owner?
Go ahead.
I think that question came from Megan, is it?
Yeah, it must be. I think somebody probably on maybe Facebook Live has asked it. So.
That's a great question. Being an entrepreneur comes with, a ton of surprises. One of the things that surprised me the most is the fact that, you go in thinking, well, I have a great product, and it should sell itself. Well, it's not about a great product. It's about a great story and a great way to reach, your target audience. And, that's something that we've, had to learn very, very quickly. And then really the second piece is, some 90% of the businesses, they fail in the first 5 years, but you've got to remember and embrace that failure is part of the journey. It's part of the process. So any lean organization, you got to fail fast and fail often. And that's the only way you're going to continue to innovate and grow. So absolutely, those 3 things are a surprise, and it's at the core of, what we do now. So great question. Thank you.
Emma, do you have anything to add?
Yes. So again, I've learned this the hard way, but no one is going to do anything, like no one's going to, what did I say? So no one's going to do it for you. So if you want to open up a shop, if you want to sell a product, no one's going to do it for you. You have to put in the work. You have to put yourself out there, like I've said before. But yes, as a small business owner, you can delegate, and it's important to delegate. But at the end of the day, I don't have anyone like other than my partner, which is great, but there's no one else telling me, get up, go to the store, go do this, go do that. You have to find it within yourself to get organized, to get your list ready, to delegate properly. That's all on you. That's all on you. So it's just organization has been so important that I've had to learn the hard way. I've absolutely had to learn the hard way. And a notebook is something that I always carry with me as a small business owner. So that's an important thing to have with you at all times too.
100%. And failure doesn't necessarily mean like that's it. It's you're done, right? You're, as you mentioned, Salima, it's sometimes a gateway to coming up with new ideas and being innovative. And I think that's something that all entrepreneurs have to do a good job of is if something doesn't work, try something else, but it's usually an opportunity to try something different. And we talked so much about this, like the pivoting, right? Which is so important. Just seeing if there's any other questions that have come in. Fail, first attempt in learning. Love it.
I love that. Yes.
Love that acronym. I'm going to use that. What entrepreneurial tricks have you discovered to keep you focused and productive in your day-to-day? And I think this is so important. I mean, for anyone that might be working from home more, right? Like they don't have a physical place of business to go where there's not as many distractions. I mean, obviously having a young family at home, your daughter is very helpful, it sounds like, but do you have any suggestions for how to stay focused and productive in your day-to-day?
I'll share some thoughts on this. So I think we've had to really balance our time and ensure that, you know, when you're working, like Emma said, there's nobody that's waking you up, nobody that's telling you that needs to get done. And as a small business owner, you are at any given time, any role, from customer service to putting out fires, to making deliveries, to dealing with accounting. And so no one's pushing you to do that. So I think prioritizing has been very important. And I think from a more practical perspective, we transitioned early on in the pandemic from like Excel templates and emails to actually using an organizational software. Like we use Monday.com now, which is like a team kind of project tracking and collaboration tool. And it's been like game changing for us because at any time we can tag each other in messages, we can follow up on projects. We kind of know who's bringing the team down, who's bringing the team up, what we need to do this week to push ourselves forward. And actually taking the time to implement a system like that has helped tremendously in terms of organization.
Yeah, and I would like to add, you know, from a focus perspective, sometimes, you know, as an entrepreneur, you're working really 24/7. You know, you got to know when is that break time, especially with the family, right? So let's say 5 onwards to 7, where we shut down our laptops, we're outside with the kids, you know, when it's summer, making sure that we have, you know, time for the family, time for ourselves, because that helps us sort of re-energize and, you know, get ready to take on new challenges, right?
Yeah. Work-life balance, so important, especially now more than ever.
Yeah, and we're lucky. I'll just add as well, Jennifer, we're lucky to have grown. Like we've grown from me and Salima to a team of, with me and Salima, 7 of us. And I'd say our employees, they're all dealing with their own pandemic related issues. Yeah. And so we've had to we want to make sure we are as compassionate to them as possible too. So being organized and allowing them to work and get the work done at their time based on what they're going through with the pandemic, that trust factor, I think, has made the team all the more stronger. And we haven't really felt, because we're talking every day, we're collaborating in different ways. In some ways, the team is even stronger than it was before the pandemic, where you were right in front of the person all day long.
Yeah, of course. Emma, do you have any tips for productivity?
Those are all amazing points. But I will say, like, I did learn a long time ago that if you write something down, it's more than likely to come true. So I always write down an idea. Even though my notebook's messy, I always write down what I have to do in my calendar. Like, I have to do that because I have to see it. And I find whenever I write it down, I will not forget. Well, in terms of my scenario, I'm always on my phone right now. So just recently, I mean, we're competing with Amazon. So I want to make sure that I'm always commenting first and getting to my DMs first. Like I want to do that really well. And I've been able to do that for over a year. And now I'm trying to pull back a little bit and find time more for myself. Obviously I want to be outside because it's gorgeous, but I think it's so important in this day that we're always on our phone is to just have phone breaks. Like put the phone down. I put my phone on airplane mode as soon as it's like 9 o'clock and I shut it right off. It's really hard though, because we're just so in tune to being like, I have to message that person right away, or I have to get that sale, or I have to do this. But I think now that we've been in a year and plus of this, take that time, put your phone on airplane mode, prioritize of course, but take that time for yourself because you really can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes, so true, so true. Before we get to kind of your talking about what's next and final thoughts, something that I haven't asked about is building a team. And I know Ali and Salima, you have a team, which is fantastic. And I know, Emma, you had mentioned that you're thinking about building the team and adding employees. So do you, I guess Salima and Ali, do you have any tips for entrepreneurs that might be needing to hire employees and build a team to support them in running the business? Like, where do you go to find these people, and what's some good tips for like onboarding and building a strong team that's going to help you be successful?
Yeah, I think we're blessed that when we first needed to grow our team, again, it came down to having that network and being introduced, but we were introduced to like the Ryerson University co-op program. And they had a specialized marketing program and they wanted to find placements for their students. And that was our first kind of team member that we onboarded. Since then, we've hosted many of their interns. And these students have come in with their fresh ideas, really like, sometimes we're talking to them and it's like they're part of the owners, like they're like us. They care about the business and the growth so much. Some of them have stayed on past their internship and supported us part-time throughout the summer in different ways. And I think that's been a major success, the co-op program at Ryerson and the support that they provided us.
Yeah, and I think that they come with such fresh ideas, that it's great, for us because, we are so focused on the business and may not have thought of some of the things that they're thinking of. Also, they're part of our target market, so it's great to be able to use them to bounce ideas off of. So that has worked really tremendously well for us. And I think anybody who's looking to hire, reach out to, your local universities, to see what talent is available out there.
That's a really great point. We have 2 interns that have been working at the Entrepreneur Centre for the last year, and every day they blow me away with some of their incredible ideas. I'm sure you've probably both worked with them through the client spotlight stories. Oyendamola is an incredible writer, and she builds these beautiful stories. So if you're thinking about or if you're interested in learning more about some of the clients that we've worked with, both Emma, Ali, and Salima, that you are featured on our client spotlight on our website. So we encourage people to check those out. But agreed, if you can reach out to your local educational post-secondary institutions, a great place to start. And the other thing I just want to add is there's so many capstone projects. So if you are starting a business or you're in business and you need a website created, I'm sure there's a team of students that are in a program that would love to work on building a website, and they can use it as part of their assignment or a project. They can add it to their portfolio. So there are so many different opportunities to work with our local post-secondary institutions, whether it be through hiring or through some of these amazing capstone initiatives. Emma, do you have any tips? I know you're thinking about building a team. Do you have any suggestions for an entrepreneur that is thinking about hiring?
Well, be pleasant, be a place that someone would want to work at. I think that's important. Know exactly what you are looking for. That's what I'm in the process of right now, is creating the list of what we need. So just know exactly why you need to build the team, what you need them for, and go from there. And interview as many people as you need before you find the perfect person, which is what I'm doing too.
And there's lots of wage subsidy programs too, I should add, where the government will help subsidize a portion of that individual's salary, which can be really beneficial to a business that is working with tight budgets. So, and we can help connect you with some of those opportunities. I do want to be mindful of everyone's time. So I'm going to pass kind of closing remarks off to, I know the library is going to wrap up, but Ali and Salima, what's next for you? And do you have any final departing words for everyone on tonight's call?
So maybe I'll share what's next for us quickly. But another plug I have to make to the Brampton Entrepreneur Centre, because recently, Jennifer, you might remember that you helped us participate in the Food Accelerator program.
Yes.
Which was an amazing, I think it was 8 weeks program for food entrepreneurs who had another idea or something they wanted to bring to market.
Yeah.
Luckily, one of our co-op students from Ryerson was on the team, and she had a keen interest in this. So she participated in the program for us.
Amazing.
And I guess we're making the announcement today on this Brampton Library event, but the outcome of that program is we now have a prototype for Thai ready meals, which we've created recipes for. We are working with retailers, and we're going to be testing and hopefully piloting and launching in the next couple months. And so we saw the demand for it. Brampton Entrepreneurial Centre put us in a program that got us the right connections, got us the right tools in a span of 8 weeks. And I'd say that 8-week program gave us the connections we probably would have taken us 8 months to find ourselves. And so accelerated that process for us. And we're happy to be in a stage now where we're going to hopefully launch that soon and expand our offerings from just dry shelf-stable products to actually ready meals on the go for customers around Canada.
Yeah, in closing, for anybody who's thinking of starting a business, A, take the plunge. B, you're not alone. There's a lot of resources out there. If you're in Brampton, the Brampton Entrepreneur Centre, there's accelerator programs, there's government grants, there's a lot of things out there that you can utilize. Hopefully when COVID is over, there's the co-working space there. Definitely use that, network with the entrepreneur community, reach out to us. There's a lot of avenues, and start today.
Love it. Congratulations. That's incredible news. I'm so pleased to hear that the prototype is ready, and I will be your first customer when you are ready to put that on shelves. Let me tell you, I love Thai food.
Awesome. And if I can just put a plug in on our website, sign up for our email list, because we're going to reach out to as many Brampton customers on our list as possible, because we want to get feedback on the recipes and the ready meals. And so we'll be sending out a whole bunch of sample meals in the next few weeks, hopefully, once we do our first run of production. So sign up for our email list. And if you're in Brampton, we'll hope to get your feedback on the taste of the meals.
Great. And Emma, what's next for you and Restyle, and any final parting words?
So we are going to continue doing our live shows every Thursday night on our Instagram at Restyle_Beauty Boutique on Thursday nights. Whether we open or not, we'll continue those shows so people can watch from all over. We ship all over Canada, which is amazing. We're going to continue to support local artists and local artisans here in Brampton. We cannot wait for June 2nd. If we can reopen, it's going to be the best thing ever. we'll be able to do our events again and our workshops and connect with people and do it safely. Of course, safety is number one, or even we'll do an outdoor market in the back area so people can shop from outside. But we definitely won't give up. We're just going to keep plugging away here and getting creative and giving to our community what they need. And any closing remarks, I would say, yeah, just don't give up. I know it seems like there's not much to look forward to, but the best thing is that once we can be done with this, we're all going to be celebrating together. If it's from afar, that's okay, but we all are excited for that. And I think it's going to be a great summer. I really do.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank you.
So I don't know if there's any other questions that have come in through the chat or via Facebook Live. If not, I'll pass it over to you, Suji.
Megan, I think that was all the questions, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So I just wanted to thank you so much. A special thank you to Emma and Ali and Salima for joining us this evening for Chat with an Entrepreneur. We really highly value the time that you have given us this evening. Jennifer, you also deserve a round of applause for doing such a good job at facilitating this discussion. And I would like to say that both the stories that were featured tonight were so inspirational for those who are looking to start their own journey of entrepreneurship. Your personal and business stories and messages really were influential and motivational for others. It's not easy to talk about the struggles that you have seen throughout this pandemic, and we value your positive attitude through these very difficult times. We wish Restyle and Palette Foods all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We really appreciate it.
And look at that, we're ending right on time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Salima. Congratulations on all your success, and thank you for being a part of tonight. I appreciate it so much. So
Thank you.
We'll see you virtually
Bye.
soon, hopefully in person soon.
I'll see you tomorrow night.